Hello and welcome to percents. The difference this time with percents is we'll be working with our calculators a lot more, but many of the skills will still be the same. So before we start talking about percents, do a little review of how we do percents without a calculator. What is beautiful gray and wears glass slippers? What's beautiful gray and wears glass slippers? We'll find out here in just a second. So 11 out of 25 is percent. Again, without a calculator, we know percent means out of 100. 11 out of 25 would be 11 out of 25. Percent means out of 100. So how can I find an equivalent fraction out of 100? Well, obviously, I multiply the bottom by 4, which means I need to multiply the top by 4. And if I do that, I'm going to end up with 44 over 100, which is 44%. So that's how I can write 11 out of 25 as a percent if I didn't have a calculator. So what about 3 out of 20 as a percent without a calculator? Well, 3 out of 20 is 3 out of 20. Percent means out of 100. So what do I have to multiply 20 by? I need to multiply it by 5. So I have to multiply my 3 by 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 out of 100 is 15%. Pretty straightforward, and we did lots of these without our calculator. Those were nice, easy to go ahead and do. Write 333 as a percent of 360. We're going to use our calculator this time. Now, we could try doing the same thing. 333 out of 360. If I want to try to make that out of 100, it should be obvious. It's not that easy to do. So usually when the numbers get a little bit messier like this, we're just going to go ahead and use our calculator. So instead of trying to find it as a fraction out of 100, what we're going to do is change it to a decimal first. All right, and then remember, once we have it as a decimal, so how can I change this as a decimal? We do the division. We don't need to do this by hand. So what are we going to do on our calculator? On our calculator, we're going to do 333, and then we're going to divide it by 360, and we put that in our calculator. We should get 0.925. Now, how do we change a decimal to a percent? We multiply by 100 to change that into a percent. So if I multiply it by 100, I get 92.5%. Okay, so this is the quick, easy way. Again, we could have done that on our previous ones, right? Our 11 out of 25, we could have done 11 divided by 25 on our calculator. That would have given us as a decimal. And then multiply that by 100 to get a percent. Likewise, on the previous question, 3 over 20, or 3 out of 20, we could have just done 3 divided by 20 on our calculator and multiply that answer by 100. So as you can see, relatively straightforward to go ahead and do these one number as a percent of another when we have our calculator. So we'll do a little practice in just a second. So the answer to my original question was Cinderella. We'll see you soon.